All right. Good evening, everybody. Appreciate you guys being on this IG Live, very special live here. We've got two amazing individuals that we'll be bringing on here in a little bit. But first, I just want to say thank you for taking the time out of your obviously very busy schedule to be on these lives. I'm going to be going live every single day this particular week here. Thursday is going to be the big day, right? Thursday, we've got John C. Maxwell. I'll actually be live with him on Instagram doing a Q&A. So you guys get a chance to get a little sample of what we're going to experience at the I Believe Experience, the Leader's Edge that's coming up. We're right at a month away, right at 30 days away right now. The anticipation is rising. The expectation is at an all-time high. The team had a big meeting today, a walkthrough of everything that's going to be taking place at the event. I'm pumped up about it, pumped up about what's going to happen, what is going to take place for people coming out of this event. Not just 90 days after the event or a year or 3 or 5 years. I can go back and look at events that I went to just like this, 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 15 years ago, 17, 18 years ago, that still have an impact on my life today. It was a combination of all the events that I've gone to, everything that I've learned over the last 18 years has brought me to where it is that we are right now. And I still go to events just like the I Believe Experience to get renewed, to get that excitement, that enthusiasm, get the information, get the tools, the strategies, refine the tools, refine the strategies in order to become even better at my craft, become even better as a leader. So definitely excited for each and every one of you to be a part of your leadership journey. This particular training that's going to take place is really going to be catered towards individuals that want to become great leaders. My goal is to develop 1,000 leaders that impact 1 million individuals. 1,000 people, great leaders that go out and impact at least 1 million people in their lives. That will allow us to accomplish the goal of 1 billion. And ladies and gentlemen, we've got some things we're going to be rolling out at this event where people are going to now start having the opportunity to become Believe Nation coaches. These are going to be the leaders that I'm going to be working with closely to actually help them develop themselves as great leaders so they can go out there and impact the world in a major way. So we're going to be giving you more information about how you can become a Believe Nation coach and be part of the vision, be on the inside when it comes to the vision. There's no greater joy, I can tell you this right now, there's no greater joy from inspiring other individuals, impacting other people. No amount of money that you make, no amount of success that you have, the clothes, the jewelry, the money, all that stuff will pale in comparison to the feeling that you will have when you start to touch the lives of other people in a positive way. So I'm excited. Guys, before I bring on our special guest, I want to share with you a little about Believe Nation and really what it's all about. 2013, I just come off an incredible year in 2012. My biggest year ever, income, I was happy, everything was going well. But I just felt like I wanted to do something that was much greater than just making money. And I wrote down my definite purpose. And that definite purpose was, I'm so happy and grateful now that I've positively impacted the lives of over 1 billion people with my voice and my appearance. And the complete statement says, Lord, when they see me, let them see you. When they hear me, let them hear you. So this is a goal to really bring people closer to God, bring people closer to their Creator. Because I don't think you're going to be fully happy in life unless you have that relationship. And when we sat down with individuals, teams that build brands, and they said, well, David, what's your vision? What do you want to accomplish for people? And I'd written down these 7 pillars. I want to be able to impact people's lives in these 7 specific areas. One of them is your spiritual awareness. I believe that when you become more aware of the power that's on the inside of you, the force that's on the inside of you, the God that's on the inside of you, you're going to look at life's challenges from a different perspective. You're going to look at it through your God lenses, ladies and gentlemen. You're going to look at life a little bit different. When you do face challenges, yes, you may get knocked down, but you're going to get back up because you've got that spiritual awareness on the inside of you. So all of our teachings are going to be geared towards you coming into contact and really understanding the force and the power that's on the inside of you, the ability to believe, the ability to have faith, the ability to manifest the desires of your heart. All of that is going to be connected to your spiritual awareness, because the world that you want to create in the natural first has to be created in the spirit realm. You've got to understand that. And that's what we're going to be teaching at this event. It will be taught at every one of our Believe Nation events. Also, it's about your emotional strength. Your emotional strength, ladies and gentlemen. I believe right now, today, mental health is so very, very important. I think there's so many people, the attacks on the mind of people, it's a mass attack on the minds of people, and it's hurting a lot of people out there. So we want to be able to reach those individuals. We want to be able to teach those individuals that it is your spiritual awareness that's going to allow you to really be able to tackle the challenges that you may have mentally. See, if you know who's on the inside of you, when those attacks come, you can rise up and you can face it. You can face it. There's a standard that's on the inside of you that will allow you to face those challenges and build up that emotional strength that you have. And emotional strength, ladies and gentlemen, a lot of it has to do with how you handle relationships. The relationships in your life, relationships with your family, relationship with your loved ones, relationship with your business partners, relationships with your mentees or your mentors, relationship with your friends. How do you handle that? Relationships are very, very critical to you becoming successful, having total success in life. And then we want to make sure that you develop in the area of leadership. And that's why specifically this event that's coming up, you don't want to miss it. We've got the very best of the best. You're going to meet 2 of them on this call here tonight. Most of you already know who they are. They're world-renowned business leaders, incredible, incredible people. And you're going to get a chance to hear from them in a little bit. But, you've got an opportunity here to learn leadership. Leadership, write this down. Leadership should be studied, should be practiced, and it should be taught. It should be studied, it should be practiced, and it should be taught. Leadership is influence, ladies and gentlemen, but you've got to have the right type of influence. There's a fine line between influence and manipulation, and you got to be able to make sure you stay on the right side of that line, where it's about inspiration and not about manipulation. Inspiration is where I have the ability. Influence is I have the ability to have you do more than what you thought you could actually do. But I've got to have influence, because you got to want to be able to listen. You got to want to be able to actually hear what it is that I have to say. Right? Manipulation is where I get you to do something that benefits me first. And maybe it might benefit you. I don't know. That's manipulation, right? But inspiration, motivation, that is where I inspire you to do something that's for you. But see, guys, I had to put my money where my mouth was. See, it's easy for me to say that if I'm talking to people that I benefit from financially, right? I can say, oh man, I really want to help you. But what if you could say it to people that you did not benefit from? What if you could serve people that you didn't benefit from? What if you did serve? What if you treated people the same exact way that were not a part of your business, not a part of your company, not a part of your atmosphere, but you still treated them the same way. You still gave them the same information. And ladies and gentlemen, I challenge myself in this area because, being selfish is just a natural thing that most people do. But I wanted to become that selfless leader. So I started to really, I wouldn't say force myself, but I would look for opportunities to help other people that did not benefit me financially. And that's part of the reason why we created Believe Nation. An opportunity for us to teach what it is that we've taught people that are close to us, but teach it to the masses, no matter what industry you're a part of, no matter what company you're a part of. And I know some people, probably, David is involved in this, and David's involved in that, and they're a little bit afraid. But I'll tell you, do not have fear. Do not live in any type of fear whatsoever, because the information we're sharing with you, the information we're going to share with the people that you work with, it is going to benefit them without a shadow of a doubt, ladies and gentlemen. All right. So leadership, and then we gotta get your health and your fitness. I know some of you have been seeing me in the gym. We're coming out with something very, very special. It's I don't want to let the cat out the bag, but we're gonna get a chance to work out together. Okay, we're gonna get a chance to really get fit together. I've got a goal that by 40 I gotta look 30. Right. So we got to get the right nutrition. We got to get the right workout plans and all that good stuff. We've got our very first Believe Nation fitness coach, all right? And you're going to get a chance to meet him at this event coming up. So I'm pumped up about it and what we're coming out. Now, we also want to talk about your finances, right? So that's the sixth pillar there, your finances. Let me do a quick recap. Spiritual awareness, for those of you that got lost. Spiritual awareness is 1. Emotional strength is 2. Your relationships is 3. Leadership is 4. Leadership is 4. Health and wellness, your fitness is 5. And then your money. And that's where we're really going to pause you tonight, because I got 2 individuals on here that know about some money. Okay, they know about money, and I want to bring them on here. Number 7 is your purpose and your contribution, and that should be an everyday thing. But the first gentleman I want to bring on tonight is a gentleman that, it's interesting. I don't think I've actually physically met him yet, right? But it feels like we've known each other for a very, very long time. I am extremely honored that he accepted our invitation for him to be a part of this event. This gentleman is known all around the world for his expertise in the area of finance. Financial literacy is something that has plagued a lot of people, where you didn't understand what to do with money. You didn't understand how to budget. And this gentleman has taught millions of people now from all around the world how to actually handle money. And I'm going to talk about it with him on this call here today. But I'm so glad to have Anthony O'Neill on here. Let me see if I can get him on here. All right, of course he's on here. All right. Know a lot of his work that he's done. What's going on, big time?
Man, I'm trying to be like you, man. I'm over here taking notes.
You always say that, and I'm like, no, man, you're the big guy, man. We try to be like you too, man. I've seen your work and seen the lives of people that you've impacted with the information that you've been able to share with them. Not just information, but also what you've applied in your life as well.
Yeah.
And it's worked for you. And, as I was looking at the 7 pillars and I was looking at finance, I was like, who else can come on that can really share from their perspective, that can really give people some insight as to what to do with money. You studied under some of the greatest financial minds of our time, and you've got the information on the inside of you. So I just want to say thank you for taking the time to be on this live and being at the event as well.
Hey, man, like I said, I'm just trying to be like you, bro. Every time I see you fresh. I'm trying to get on your level one of these days, bro.
You can blame that on my mother, man. My mother, we were gonna be fresh. 8th grade, she had me wearing suits to school. So it all started back then.
Not really.
So listen, some people probably don't know who you are. Maybe some people that follow me, I'm sure you have hundreds of thousands of followers. But I want you to kind of share your background and how did you get into this space of being able to educate people on what everybody wants, which is money.
Yeah, man. Make it real short, because I definitely want to dive in, you know, I grew up with four parents, man, four loving parents, two biological parents and two step parents. My mom and stepfather moved to San Diego, California. And then my biological father and stepmother lived in Fayetteville, North Carolina. So south and west, like literally. And man, I grew up with two different kind of philosophies, really, you know, knew everything about church. I was just like you, man. I think that's why I'm in a hoodie today, because I grew up in my high school days with my father, who was a Church of God in Christ, a Coptic pastor.
Oh, whoa.
So
Yeah,
I'm going, bro, I'm going to school with a jacket on, with a sweater on, with church shoes on, hard bottoms. Like, I was the dude that was like, oh, that's the church boy. That's the church boy. Was a virgin, never kissed a girl. Man, I was so scared to even look at a woman because I was just ingrained in the church.
Right.
Even for the church world, people may not even know this, but I was an armor bearer for my pastor. So with me being an armor bearer for my pastor, I couldn't go to the football games. I couldn't go to the school dances. I couldn't, you know, do a lot of things that my teens were doing because my dad said, you don't want to bring that spirit around the man of God.
Wow.
So I say all that to say, man, I grew up in the church. I grew up with the legal side of church. And when I graduated high school, no one taught me how to be an entrepreneur. No one taught me how to build wealth. No one taught me the difference between a credit card, debit card. No one even really sat down and told me what is a credit score, how to budget your account. No one told me, yo, you don't have to work the rest of your life. I was told, go to school, get an education, get a job, get good benefits, retire at 75. That's what I was told. So I was like, okay, cool. So I did just that. Went to school, racked up $35,000 worth of debt, got kicked out of school for doing something stupid, got into a huge argument with my father, got kicked out of the house, became homeless. And I'll never forget, man, I was sitting in the back of my car and I was like, yo, there has to be another life to this. I remember one night I met a young lady at the mall. I was 19 years old, met her at the mall. She said, yo, why don't you come over and chill out with us? We're going to watch Bad Boys at the time. That's when Bad Boys just came out. And I was like, all right, bet. Yeah. So I was taking showers at the Boys and Girls Club or the YMCA Monday through Friday. Wow. This was on a Sunday night, David. I couldn't go there. They were closed. So I literally grabbed a bucket out of the back of my car, grabbed the Dawn dish detergent, not Dove, Dawn. And I literally washed myself in the back seat of my car. Wow. And I remember looking at the rearview mirror and I busted out crying, saying there has to be something different. Neither sides of my family are broke. They're not poor. They're not wealthy. But it's like, why am I living in the back seat of my car? It literally just hit me that I got to steward my single season differently. I got to steward this single season that I'm in more wisely. So I started doing research, man, apologized to my pops, started doing some research around, you know, wealth building. And, you know, my philosophy when it comes to wealth building, you and I have talked about this offline, is, you know, everyone teaches the OPM method, use other people's money. Cool, great. I don't knock that. I'm all for it. But I was like, yo, no one really teaches about abstaining from debt. Let me do some research on that side. So I did some research on that side, man. And I really fell in love with this whole method of, you know what? Just live below your means, build your wealth, have ownership, delay gratification. And so everything that you have is yours. So if life does hit, yo, you're wealthy. Yeah. So I started listening and learning, man. Ran into one of my mentors and a close friend of mine, Dave Ramsey. Joined his team for about 7 years and really learned up underneath him on really how to build wealth. And man, it's been a journey from there. I've been able to do the things that I want to do, travel around the world, helping people get out of debt, avoid debt, and really build true and lasting wealth so they can buy the cars they want. They can live in the homes they want. So they can really have that financial freedom that a lot of people in America do not have. They look like they have the freedom, but they don't actually have the freedom. They don't have the peace. And I'll say this so we shut up. A lot of people, one of my good friends, Pastor Mike Jr., he said this, a lot of people are in beautiful bondage and don't even know that they're in because everything looks good. When you go to the zoo, what you see animals who are smiling, who are looking at you and looking like they're at peace, but no, they're in beautiful bondage. And a lot of people don't understand that they're drowning in all this debt. They have all the cars, they have all the jewelry, they have all the ladies, they have everything that they want, but they have nothing to show for it. And it's simply bondage. So traveling around the world, man, trying to share my story, how I got out of it, and how I'm just literally walking in peace, freedom, have options, and just grateful for the opportunity.
Yeah. It's about information, and a lot of times we're just not educated, right? Like you said, you had to go and do the research. You had to go and seek out the right mentors and the right coaches that could give you the information. And I said this the other day, only a fool despises wisdom.
Whoop.
And you can learn, ladies and gentlemen, you can learn from your mistakes, or you can learn from the mistakes of others. All right. And that's where the mentor comes in. That's where the mentorship comes in. That's where just common sense comes in. I look at money. I came up with something, 3 M's. You've got to make money. Right. We got to figure out how we're going to make some money. How are we going to make some money? What service am I going to provide? What value am I going to give in order to receive? That's how you make money. I give value and I get something in return. Okay. It's always been like that. Well, then I've got to manage money. See, most people miss that step of managing money. You've got to manage money. And managing money comes with counsel.
Yes.
Okay? It comes with counsel, ladies and gentlemen. You've got to get counsel on, should I buy that car? Should I buy that home at this particular time? Should I?
Yeah.
That's a great question to ask someone else.
Come on, man.
And I always tell people, if you have to ask me, it means it's not time. All right? If you have to ask me.
Say that again.
If you have to ask me, that means it's probably not the time for you to get that.
Yep.
Now, once you learn how to manage it, because managing is storing it. I got to store it. Then I have to multiply it.
That's it.
We didn't even talk about this, right? This is what you got to do. You've got to make money. We know that, and everybody's out there, and there's so many rabbits out there now on how to make money. It's crypto, it's NFTs, it's courses, it's if you're broke in America or in this world today, it's literally by choice.
Yeah,
in my opinion, because there's so many opportunities out there to make money, but then now you've got to get the information that on how to budget, and how to manage it, how to store it, and then how to multiply it. And multiplying it, guys, you got to sit down with an expert. Right? You got to get with the expert. I was on a yacht over the summer, $300 million yacht, and I was talking with a gentleman, and he said, David, what you got to do is you got to get with the big boys. You got to get with the Goldman Sachs. You got to get with those guys, because they're going to be able to get you into things that the rest of the world doesn't know. You've been able to do well, but you've done well on the retail side of things, where it was already out in the open. We want to show you how you can get into things before the rest of the world knows. Once again, information. Once again, being in the right circles. It's so critical to do that if you're going to build wealth.
It's so funny that you say that, man, because when you talk about, that's wisdom. Like, I think everybody on this live right now needs to write those 3 M's inside the chat. Make it, manage it, multiply it. Well, we got wisdom. What did God ask Solomon when he gave him the kingdom? He said, ask me for whatever you want. Now, God comes down here, David, and he asks a lot of people in America today, ask me. I'm not genie in the bottle. I'm the guy who made the genie. Ask me for whatever you want. The majority of people are going to ask for $1 million.
Yes.
The majority of people are going to ask for the new car. The majority of people are going to ask for the blue check mark or 1 million followers on TikTok. The majority of ladies are going to ask for the death of their ex-husbands. The majority of people are going to ask for things. But Solomon said, yo, check this out. You done gave me this kingdom. You done gave me all this. I need the wisdom and knowledge so I can maintain, so I can maximize this season well. And I think when it comes to our money, we make it. Let's just be real. A lot of us have no problem with making money.
Yeah.
Problem is, we don't have the wisdom and the knowledge to manage it and to multiply it.
Yeah.
We look like we're managing it. We look like we're multiplying it, but we're really not. But we're not managing it well. And it's because we're not taking the opportunity to go seek the wisdom and the knowledge, so that way when God does give us the opportunities, when God does get us into the next season, it'll just be amazing. I stopped asking God, David, for more money, because making money is not an issue.
Right.
That's not an issue. I'm gonna work. The problem is, I say, God, give me the wisdom. Give me the knowledge. Connect me with people like David. Connect me with people like Dave Ramsey. Connect with people like Grant Cardone. Connect me with people like John Maxwell. Connect me with people who are smarter than me, who can teach me how to multiply this thing. I got the managing part down. I'm good at that part. But how do I multiply this? You know why? Because I'm not multiplying it for me. I'm multiplying this for my kids. Yeah. I'm multiplying it for, I'm gonna be for me, for the culture. I want to show other people, yo, we can do this. We can circulate this money, but we got to multiply it. We got to start businesses. We got to start becoming leaders. And you can't be a leader if you don't know how to make it, manage it, and multiply it. That's just in money. That's in life in general. Man, don't get me started. Man, listen here.
Hey, we just wanted to give them a little sample, just a little taste of what they're gonna get February 4th, 5th, and 6th, man. I'm pumped up for it. I'm excited about it because there are a lot of things that, you know, that I've learned over the years from mentors and just through experience as to really what to do with money, how to set it up to where right now, my grandkids, right now, I've got it to where my grandkids, I don't have any grandkids yet, but my grandkids, they're set.
Yeah.
Right. And that's just put away. I can't touch it. It's there for them, where at least my grandkids are good. My goal is to get it where it's great grandkids where they're set. Yep. But then we've got to make sure they have the knowledge and they do acquire the wisdom that's necessary to be able to really maintain it, right? So that's really huge. So man, I'm pumped up, man. I'm excited. I want to bring on Justin right now onto the call. And I know you know Justin and follow his work as well. Let me get him on here. It's another gentleman that understands money, understands it, really understands how to preserve it.
What's up, bro?
Multiply it, been very smart. And I want to say this because Justin is someone who would always ask. He's always asked, hey, what do you think? All right? What do you think about this? And a lot of times I'll say, hey, make sure you have this put away, and then it's okay. Then you and he's done that every single time, and it's worked to where when life does hit, because life always hits, his lifestyle, everything is all good because he was smart with the money that he was making. He knew how to manage it, knew how to multiply it. And he's one of the best leaders that I know in the entire world. And I'm glad that he's a part of this event as well. So, Just, thanks for coming on, man.
Absolutely. Glad to be here. I'm taking notes from you guys. Appreciate what you've done. You know, I'm glad to be an Imonitie grandchild, you know, so I'm set. You know what I mean?
Yo.
Hey, you know, I'm just trying to
put yourself in the wheel. Yes, you don't put yourself in the wheel, bro. I didn't even know.
I just might as well just be sitting with everybody else, you know? But it's a lot of wisdom, you know, like I'm listening to you and Anthony. And Anthony, we haven't met, but, you know, we talked to the grand man. Appreciate what you've done. And Dave, what you've been able to build is it's really spectacular, man. You know, and obviously we're friends and, you know, mentor, but, man, I'm proud of you, bro, you know, because you're you know, when somebody's living their dream and their passion, it's something special. So just want to give it up to you, bro.
Appreciate it. Justin, I want to ask you something because you watch people make money. Mm-hmm. Why is it that people find it very difficult to be able to hold on to it, be able to grow it? What do you think is the challenge, the root issue with people that have a challenge with that?
So I'll be transparent. You know, I think, you know, one, because I was there, so I know, you know, like I have to be that person. I think some of the time it's just the way we were brought up because, you know, when you don't come up, you know, you look like us, you don't come with everything that you want. And so when you do start making money, it's like, man, this is my shot to do all the stuff I wanted to do. I go buy the shoes, I get the car, I get this place, I get the jewelry. And I know what happened for me is one day I looked in, you know, my closet, I had more money in my closet than I had in my bank account. And I was like, okay, that's not the move anymore. And so, okay, I was like, you know, I remember one time I was in Houston at the time, and man, I was broke. You know, I was really bad. I called my aunt and uncle. I needed to borrow $1,000 so I could come back to start a business, and they told me no. They always told me yes, and I was like, dang, I'm never gonna be in this spot again. And so I started making money again. I figured it out. You know, I called somebody like, yo, if you're an entrepreneur and you can't figure out how to get $1,000, you don't need to be an entrepreneur. I was like, okay, y'all just gonna keep kicking a brother while he's down. You know what I'm saying? Like, I see what's happening here. And I thought, you know, I started making money again. I was like, man, I learned the lesson. And I realized that you don't know if you learned the lesson until you make money again and then you do the right thing. Because a lot of times people, when you're broke, you're like, I figured it out. I know what I did wrong. Well, now you're saying, no, I'm not going to buy this because you can't afford it. So I said I wasn't going to be in that situation again. And lo and behold, I was in that situation again. I was like, how did I get back here? Like, wait a minute, because I just really believe life will keep giving you the same lessons in different ways until you pick up what you're supposed to learn. And so I was like, okay, what was I supposed to be getting? And it was like, Justin, while you're making the money, this time, you've got to put it away. You got to have, like Anthony said, the delayed gratification. I remember, you know, when I first got started with you in business, I was asking you questions about, okay, you've gone through this process before. What would you do differently? That's why I always ask, like, what should I have put away? Because I don't want to go through that process again. And that was really my mission. And so I think that's part of it, is like, you don't come from a lot. And then the second thing is, you know, sometimes our personal lives, like, a lot of people are barely making it in their current situation, so they can't even think about the future. So they can't think about putting money away. They can't think about investing when it's like they feel like they don't have any. But the truth is, we all have it. It's just what we're deciding to do with it. Yeah. And so once you realize, okay, well, I have the money. I've just been giving it to everybody else. Because when I get it, I always, you know, tell people in the business is that, you know, sometimes we'll make every reason why we have to spend money, but give every excuse why we can't invest. And so if you learn how to flip that and say, okay, I've got to make every excuse why I can't spend, and then give myself every reason why I now have to invest and set myself up, it literally changes the switch. And so, you know, you do that and you start hanging around people that are saving more and investing more, and it gets you uncomfortable staying where you are and spending money. You know, I think those are two things. And so learning, you know, from people like yourself and Anthony and all the other financial people that are out there, and really start learning, like, okay, I know how to make money. Making money is not very hard. I think, you know, 2022, I think at a certain point you realize it's not hard to make it. What's hard is to keep it. And, you know, that's what we're going to be talking about in Believe Nation. So I'm excited about that.
I was sitting in a training. This had to be 2009. And a gentleman actually shared something with me. And it was called What to Do with a Dollar.
Wow. Yep.
And here is the premise of it, Anthony. The premise of it was, if you didn't know what to do with a dollar, you wouldn't know what to do with $10.
Wow.
And if you didn't know what to do with $10, you wouldn't know what to do with 100.
Right.
And if you didn't know what to do with 100, you wouldn't know what to do with 1,000. So he broke it down this way, where there's 6 things that you do with money. I'm gonna give you, the folks that are watching, I'm gonna give this to you right now. There's 6 things that you do with money. But the main thing you do with money and multiplying it, the only way you multiply anything is by sowing it.
Come on. Ooh.
Write that down. The only way anything ever grows on this earth is through planting. The apple seed has the apples in it, and it has more seed in it.
Yep.
So money is a seed. That's the first thing you've got to understand about money. Money is a seed. It's not meant for you to spend. The last 3 letters in spend spell end. Wow. Every time you spend, it's over. It has no way of coming back to you. So every time seed comes to me, Anthony, the first thought I have is, where am I planting this?
It's good. That's good.
Where am I planting this? And do you know where the first place I plant? Me.
Absolutely.
That is the first place I plant, because this is my faith. God is in me.
Yep.
So I'm gonna store in me. Now, what do I store? 10%. 10% of what I earn. So if you make 10 grand a month or 5 grand a month, you sow into yourself $500 or $1,000, right? The next thing you do is you sow again. This is where you sow into the kingdom. This is where you now sow into the lives of other people. What I wanted to do, I created a foundation for me to be able to sow. Does that make sense? Yep. I created a foundation for me to be able to sow. So now I could take that seed, sow it, and then be able to now give it out because I'm protecting it. See, that's another thing most people don't do with money. Most people don't know how to protect money.
Right.
All right. So you got to protect it. Once you protect it, now you can say, okay, I'm going to give to this charity. I'm going to give to this church. I'm going to give to this cause. So now I'm sowing again because it says give and it shall be given unto you.
Yes, sir.
But that's not what most people do with money. They get money and first thing they do is they spend it. They either spend it on bills or spend it on the newest Jordans, spend it on the newest PlayStation. We just came up a holiday. People spend it on gifts and it's gone. Now they're trying to figure out where they're going to get the next check. All right. So you, charity, church, next thing you got to do is your living expenses. 25%. Folks that I mentor, they don't, 25% is their expenses. When you look at Justin, 25%, he doesn't, it's not even close to that. It's not even close to that. So I'm not now straining to pay for this car or pay for this house or pay for this or pay for that. 25%, ladies and gentlemen. Then you got to reinvest back into your business.
That's it.
All right. So that's number 4. You got to reinvest back in your business. Number 5, you got to pay taxes.
Yep.
You got to pay them taxes, guys. If you're an entrepreneur on here, you got to pay them taxes. Okay. They're going to come for it. Trust me. They're going to come for their money. And then last but not least, savings and investing. Those are the 6 things you do with money. I'll cover it at the event in more detail, but this is what we've taught. And you know what's amazing? Everybody doesn't do it.
You know what's interesting though, David, and this is the funny part of it is I remember you told me the 25% towards living expenses, and I'm like, what? So because you think about like somebody's making 10 grand a month, which most people aren't. That's $2,500 a month,
right? For
living expenses. So it's like, wait a minute, what am I supposed to be doing? You know,
that's the delayed gratification, right?
And that's the piece because it's like I understand it, but I don't where I would have to live and what I would have to drive to do that. I don't have to do. But then what's funny is later on, it's like as you start making more money, it's like I'm not about to spend 25% on my living expenses. So it goes from that's not enough to there's no way in the world I'm going to spend that on living. No, that's just ridiculous at this point. And so but that's why you got to have the delayed gratification of all right, let me get past this point because you know there's a lot of things that you're going to do that are going to require money. You know, there's a lot of people that are like, man, I want to learn how to invest, but I don't have any money. Well, I'm like, well, that's ironic because the concept of investing requires you to have money. So, you know, first we got to find it. And it's in your lifestyle. It's just something you don't want to let go of. It's, what are you not willing to let go of that's costing you your future? Is it cable? Is it coffee? Is it, you know, the car that you're in? Is it the apartment you're living in? The condo? Is it like, what is it that you like, man, I don't want to let go of this one, but I know if I could, man, I can level up.
That's one thing I've seen Anthony really teach people on. And that's why I wanted you to come because see, in our profession is about the flash.
Yeah. And
they'll look at Justin, they'll look at me and say, well, I got to live the way they live, but you haven't done what we've done, right? So, I want you to talk about that, the delayed gratification. How important is that to building wealth? Why is that so important?
Man, it's very important, man. You know, I was sitting here laughing because y'all on here just dropping gems, and I'm sitting here laughing. Conference is about to be amazing. You know, it's like, it's so funny. I text you. I'm not going to say the name of the car, but you can agree with me. I text you today that I bought my dream car. I text you the picture. I text you today. I ain't never spent that much money on a car. Up until that time, bro, I've been driving an old school car. Now, I have 2 today. I'm grateful, and they are both beautiful, right? But I was like, Justin, I was going to work Monday through Friday, getting my paycheck on Friday, giving it to somebody else's family to get back home to my family broke. One of my best friends is going viral right now. He did his whole video about breaking down the last names, Brian Bullock. And he was like, man, McDonald's is a last name. Rolls Royce is a last name. Wells Fargo is a last name. And when we're sitting here, we are putting in labor Monday through Friday to give the fruit of our labor to somebody else's family to come back home to my family broke. And I said, I refuse to be that guy. When God allows me to have a wife, I got to tell my wife no, because I wasn't being a good steward over the fruit of my labor because I was trying to impress so many other people. So I said, you know what, let me flip the script. I'm going to work. I'm going to bust my butt. But on Friday, like you said, I'm paying myself first. I'm paying the kingdom first. I'm going to start building wealth for myself. Not saying that I do nice things, because the car that I purchased, my Lord, it's somebody's house.
Y'all got the same car.
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah, y'all got the same car.
So for me, it was like, for me, I like the nice things. I love them, but I was tired of the nice things having me. I said, no, I have the nice things, not the nice things have me. So I operate off of 19.5% of my income. That's my mortgage. I don't have any car notes. I don't have any other debt, just my mortgage. And so my living expenses is very, very low, but my mortgage payment is high because I have the flexibility to do that. But then, when you look at me, y'all in some nice suits and stuff like that, that's fine. I got the hoodie. I'm cool. This is who Anthony O'Neal is. But I'm going to pull up in a very nice car. You're going to pull into a very nice home, but at the same time, when you pull up to the bank account, it's my Lord. Because when I get to my wife, and I said this, and you text me one day, it was like, Anthony, there got to be a balance somewhere, bro. And it's like, me, I refuse to tell my wife no because I told others yes. I refuse to tell my wife, no, we can't do this because I told her, yes, I'm going to take her to this $1,000 restaurant. I told her, yes, I'm going to take her on this $5,000 trip. But then when I get to my family, I got to tell them no. So now my mindset is wealth. Now my mindset is generational wealth. Now my mindset is when my grandkids kids have kids, say Anthony O'Neal, I don't want them asking who is that. I want them exactly who that is. Because at 37 years old, when I was single with no wife, no kids, I was thinking about wealth and generational wealth down the road. And so that's why it's very, very important to me to delay gratification. The key word there is delay.
Yeah. I set a goal. I set a goal when I was 20. I think I put it up when I was about 27. And the goal was I wanted to have $10 million put away.
Ooh.
That was the goal. Most people don't set goals like that. They set goals of how much money they want to make, right? And things they want to buy. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with setting goals. But you got to have the goal of, hey, I want to put 10 grand away. I want to put 50 grand away. I want to put 100,000 away, right? And I created signs for all this because I started with $100,000. That was my very first goal. I said I wanted to put away I wanted to see $100,000 in my account. And I grew it all the way up to where at one point I set the goal to have 10 million.
Yeah.
You just keep growing it. Yes, you're taking care of all the things you need to take care of, but because you're looking at the future. And then here's another thing. Most people don't have life insurance. And tip guys, that's one of the ways the wealthy people have passed on wealth for generations.
Yeah.
Okay. We ain't gonna dive into that right now. We'll talk about that at the conference, but you gotta have that's long term. That's thinking long term. That's being smart. Most people will pay a car note first, not pay the life insurance.
Yeah.
And that car is a liability. I mean, it's a nice car. I got a few of them. It's nice, but it's not taken away from my grandkids. You see what I'm saying? It's not. Now, real quickly, Anthony, paying things off, getting out of debt. You've got a way to show people how to do that. Is that correct?
Yeah, it's a very popular way, man. I just preach and live by it. I mean, well, I don't live by it anymore because I'm out of it, but that's what I teach. It's called the debt snowball. So a lot of people do the debt avalanche because it's like, hey, if you're gonna pay off the debt, I want you to go ahead and pay off the highest interest rate going all the way down. Well, I flip that because it's all about momentum. I want you to get that momentum to go on and go on and go on. So say for an example, if you have a $500 credit card all the way up to a $50,000 student loans, you just start at the small one and just pay that one off. And here's why, because it's more of a mental game than it is a math game. Because if it was a math problem, we would be drowning in debt in the first place, because we all would understand that was a crazy move. So for me, I want to get excitement. I want to get, all right, I paid off this first one. Let me go over to the second one. Let me just focus on the second one and get to the third one. And man, and I did that. I had about $35,000 worth of debt back in 2002. So, I mean, I was making maybe about $28,000 a year then. Man, I got out of debt when I got done with the second one. David, when I saw that thing go to zero, it got me 2 more jobs. Because this thing really does work. And I started seeing more of my money come back to me. I was able to start paying myself a little bit more rather than paying somebody else. I went and got 2 jobs. And I literally just attacked all of my debt. And the best method for me is really, before you even get to the debt snowballs, it goes back to the vision. What is your why? One of our good friends, Darius Daniel says, if your why doesn't make you cry, then the price of commitment will make you cry. If you want to build wealth, if you really want to get out of debt, you got to go deep down into your core. And I'm going to talk about that at the conference, our core. Like, what are we at our core? What do we desire? What do we want? And you got to go down there and ask yourself, why do you want it? It's not just about the house. Why do you want that? And I asked this young lady this when I was on the Dave show. She said, I said, why do you want the house? She said, because I want a roof for my kids. Well, why do you want a roof for your kids? Well, because they deserve a roof. Well, why do they deserve a roof? Well, because I didn't have a roof. I was like, well, break that down for me. When she started breaking down why she wanted a house, just a house, she started crying because when she, from 17 to 21 years old, she didn't have a house. When she was 6 to 7, her and her mom was going round and around for different houses because she didn't have a house. So her why to get out of debt and to build wealth, to get a simple starter home for her kids, was so deep to her core that she got out of debt. She used the debt snowball method, built not just her regular house, but a dream house for her kids, because her why made her cry. And so if you really want to shift anything in your life, especially around getting out of debt, building wealth, it's really not just about the financial principles. It's about what's at your core and what's going to fuel you when you feel like giving up. And I'm like you, man. I just branched out from my mentor and friend, Dave Ramsey. And so my goal is I want to employ 50 employees. Within the next 3 years, I want to make 10 millionaires up underneath my umbrella. And then, man, I have some very, very big goals myself. I'm going to release that at the conference. But, my thing is about how do I duplicate what I'm doing now? How do I have people get out of debt, have ownership, and we're multiplying, not just money, but we're multiplying wisdom and knowledge to help other people get out of debt and build wealth.
Yeah, it's so critical. It really is. And once again, it's going to come down to who's really hungry for the information. Because if you don't know, then you just don't know. And you've got to put yourself in the right environments to get the information so you can do the right things when it comes to building wealth. Justin, you've done a great job making money. You've done a great job managing it. But now you've moved into a space where you're able to multiply it. And this is where now people that are making money, you want to make sure that your portfolio is now set up the right way, where you are not heavily invested in just one thing, but you got to kind of have it spread out really, really smart. My financial advisor says, David, you have to have 6 months, at least 6 months of your living expenses put away, right? And she told me that when I first hired her 12 years ago, right? So most people don't have that. So if your business stopped today, right, can you live for 6 months? If you got fired from your job right now, could you live for 6 months to give you that time in order to be able to get back on your feet? And I had to experience that. And I was so blessed that I had listened to her and I had started making some investments. So when business did take a bad turn in 2013 and 14 and 15 and 16, I didn't lose anything that I had because I had put money up. I had put money in investments that would actually grow for me. So Justin, just kind of real quick and kind of share, what are some things that people can do right now if they want to start multiplying money? What are some of the avenues that they can look into?
You know, it's a lot of places, really. I mean, obviously, it's for some people it could be called risky without education, but I love crypto. That's a great place. A person can start with a little bit of money. Real estate's a great avenue. Businesses, I think over the last year invested more into like my personal businesses and brands. And honestly, I'll be transparent. I think the best investment, this is going to sound so cliche, is yourself. Because that's the only thing I can continue to guarantee is going to blow up. It's me. I can't, I can buy Ethereum, I can buy Apple and all these other things. And I do put my money aside, but it's like, I'm going to continue, like this is an investment into myself. What am I going to learn? All these different areas you just broke down, but then I'm growing myself. And once I grow myself, I can make as much money in any avenue that I want, because now you become an attractive person. Because all these businesses, every idea, they need people to help grow it. And it's like, okay, well, what would somebody offer you to help you grow something? Is anybody calling you to help it blow up? Because if not, that means you got to grow. And so the majority of my, the first part of my career, it was investing into Justin, because I was like, okay, I got to become a better speaker. I got to become a better communicator. I got to become a better leader. I got to learn how to believe bigger. Like, it was just like simple stuff like this. And then I started to get the results. And then I started to get more influence. Then I started leading more people. And then people said, okay, cool. Can you, now show us what you've done? And so there's a lot of ways to invest, but I do believe the best place to invest out of all these places is yourself. Obviously having a business, investing into that, and that will allow you to invest in all these other places. I'm gonna say this though, and I think that the previous statement you had was probably the best dating thing that you threw out there. He said single many times while he was laying out the future. You know what I'm saying? So ladies, just when I'm single, now listen. You ain't gonna have a lot of fights and stuff like this, ladies, but the man got some money and he's gonna be ready for you. I'm just letting you know. So, get your Believe Nation tickets. You know what I'm saying?
Real quick before you go.
Y'all want to meet Anthony O'Neal?
Hey, man,
go to Believe Nation .events.
No. But
hey, Anthony looking on the side like,
no, stop it. Yeah, listen, he said something so good, man. I want to echo what he said, because go nugget, invest in yourself. My mentor told me one day, he said, mind your business. And I was like, man, I mind my business. He said, no, mind your business. I said, dude, I'm getting on my nerves. He was like, good, mind your business. I never got it. A year later, I came back to him. He said, man, mind your business. He looked at me and said, man, you still haven't gotten it yet, have you? I said, no, sir. Because I stay out of people's business. I'm a very private person. He said, yeah, but you're not minding your business. He said, son, your mind is a business. It is your number one asset. It is your number one tool. Grow this, invest into yourself. Like my man said, Justin, you will become successful. That's the number one investment you can make. So I just want to tell everyone, mind your business. It's been a pleasure tonight. Thank you, man. And yo, listen, I don't know what they're talking about. I'm coming to the conference.
I'm excited, man. It's BelieveNation.events. Listen, go there. We got some gold tickets to the left. When you walk in the room, I promise you, $300. It's just highway robbery what we're doing for $300. Okay, for you to be able to be at this event for $300. So it's gold tickets. I think we have a few VIPs left. The platinum's already sold out. But get there to the event, and here's where you start to grow. You start to grow when you have other people that you're working with. Maybe it's your staff. Maybe it's people in your ministry. Maybe it's people in your business. Maybe it's leaders that you're looking to grow. If you grow, your business will grow. That's simple. But if you start to grow other leaders, then your business is going to multiply. And it's going to move away from you to where now you're free. I have grown enough leaders to where I am free from my business. If I work my business, it's because I want to work the business. It's because I want to have my influence in the business. But I've gotten them in environments. I've taken them to the Bob Proctors. I've taken them to the John C. Maxwell. I've taken them to the Tony Robbins, so they can grow at the rate in which I was growing. I didn't withhold the information. All right. I wanted them to get the same information. You've got to do the same exact thing if you're going to have multiplication in your company, in your ministry, in your business, whatever area it is, ladies and gentlemen. I promise you, these 7 pillars are going to allow you to live a full life. So, Justin, thank you for being on. Anthony, thank you for being on. I had a great time with you guys. Tomorrow we're gonna go live again. Tomorrow, and then Thursday, I don't know if you, like, I'm like a kid at a candy store. I can't believe I'm going live with John C. Maxwell. I don't even know what to say. I don't even know what to say, but excited about it. But appreciate you guys. Love you. And hope you guys enjoyed this. I'll save it. I'll save the live, so whoever missed it, you guys can watch it again. All right? Take care.
Good night.